How's it going, everybody? Yesterday, I worked on a Quantum 338 from Digico, and of course, we're going to take your question and answer. Welcome to another Monday live stream. How's it going, everybody? If it's your first time on the channel, hi, my name is Guillaume. I'm a live sound engineer that talk about a lot of things. The interest sound engineer. We basically talk about microphone, in-ear monitor, console, and I vlog even from time to time. Those live streams are possible because of the great community that we have here on the channel. Everybody in the chat, make sure to say hello. And basically we answer the question that you guys ask in the chat. If I don't have the answer, somebody else in the chat probably has it. We have a lot of great knowledgeable people here and together as a community, because I really like the community that we have. Thank you very much for being here together as a community. No question can be left unanswered, even if sometimes the answer is just no. Hi, I'm tired because yesterday I had a really big day working with the Digico. You guys probably remember that. What's going on here? What's going on with the chat? Did I break it again? Did I break the chat? The chat should be live. Why I don't have the chat? Come on, guys. Ah, you kidding me? You must be kidding me. Give me a second here. We're gonna fix the chat. I want to see you guys. What's wrong with my new app? Am I able to see the chat? Oh, I think I can see the chat. There we go. Hello everybody. Let me close the wrong window that I opened. Let me full screen the other window that I opened. Say, hey, Patrick, good to see you. Jolly, good to see you. Robert, cooking again? Really? Mario, glad to have you back. We have, ladies and gentlemen, the nicest guy on earth. Or the nicest guy in this chat, with some other people that are also nice, but one of the nicest guy on earth, Nick, Dance of Dream 97. And I have a chat that is not working. My social media chat is not working. Why, you ask me? Well, the question is, I don't know. We're gonna take a look at this again. Is it opening? Can you guys write something in the chat to help me out figuring that stuff? Because again, I'm nothing without this community. And this community is great. And I want to make sure that this community get his message on the live stream. So, because you guys probably know the new software that I'm running allow me to basically click on the stream and give you guys sometimes in the air. Like, if I'm doing this and I click on that message. Hey, we can see that working. All right. Test. Thank you, Charlie. It's working. So, fixing a drum snake and watching. Yeah, man. Best thing to do. You take the soldering iron, pull out a YouTube video, grabbing a nice beverage, coffee, preferably at this time of the day, and yeah, enjoy. Just do some soldering. I love to do soldering. I just don't have time anymore. But doing DIY project, so rewarding. Okay, now that we're back on track, guys, yesterday I had the pleasure, and I say pleasure, of working on a Digico Quantum 338. I was doing a gala for lovely people over at Little Quebec. We were at the Montreal Casino. We have they have a room there. But no, they have a room there. And this place is like filled to the bone, filled to the top with crazy expensive top of the line gear. I'm not gonna say expensive, because expensive is just money. Crazy top of the line gear. Yesterday, I had one of their two 338, Quantum 338. They have one in front of house. They have one up monitor. Also, the PA was a Melody from Mayer. I believe it's 12 top per sides, plus the matching subs. Crazy well tuned, crazy well installed, delay everywhere. Microphone that we use with all the top of the line Sennheiser, all running over analog, stage box to analog. That, and I also had a wave server with all the plugins. They have them all. No. Oh, did you have this? Do you need to purchase this? No. They just have it all. Hear me out. I'm not sure of the price of a 338. If anybody in the chat that has all the answer, like Nick, who just got a wave card for a swing. Hold on. Was thinking about changing the way I patch the stage Cat 5 with permanent patch panel and the rack attached to the wing. Definitely. Okay, we're gonna pause what I was saying to answer his next question. You need a wave server, right? This is what we're talking about, a wave server. Do you know that you could DIY a wave server and you don't need much? A lot of people are doing wave server with old Dell, those those office machine. Finally, an ad. Already? An ad? Okay. Look at the price and fainted. I want to know how much is a Quantum. Anybody know how much is a Quantum? Before that, okay, hold on. Saving money. We can do that. We can do that together, and we can help out Nick. Nick, I don't know if you know, but you can take an old Optiplex from Dell. I think you only need Intel CPU that is Gen 6. And sorry, I'm reading Charlie's 90K plus system. And that's without the add-on. That's without the add-on, guys. That's without $100,000. Yes, $100,000. I was mixing on that yesterday. Plus the stage box, plus it's crazy out of this world. I'm taking those situation, but to be honest, it sounded good. It sounded really good. Nothing I could say. Nothing was wrong with the gear. If anything sounded bad, it was my fault or mic placement, because I was dealing with a lot of headset and people sometimes were not, they go on stage, they hug each other, the headset just go like something like this, and you wonder why you have no high frequency because the headset is pointing away from the person. That just happened. But it sounded good, but it didn't sound 20 times better than the Wing, if I must say so. And the workflow, I was feeling at home with the workflow because the Wing is somehow, and this is how I see it personally, don't go out, don't scream, I see a keyboard warrior already in the chat going crazy. I feel like the Wing is bringing engineer closer to the level of stuff that is available from Digico. Not all the feature, but the way of thinking, it's probably closer to what we have from Digico. It doesn't have the plugin, doesn't have the DSP. Crazy amount of stuff available on the Quantum. Full EQ on every single channel. Dual compressor, dual gate, dual dynamic. Insert pre, insert post for all your wave stuff. And dynamic EQ on demand. Like crazy amount of stuff. Crazy amount of DSP available with almost no latency. But I didn't felt like it makes working on that make me appreciate the wing a little more, because it's just sound great for what it is, for like I don't know how many, like not even a 20th of what the console is worth for a full system with the wing. But the thinking behind this console is great, and it just makes me appreciate the amount of stuff that we have at our fingertips here for so little money. Now back to the Quantum. Quantum is great. Nothing bad I can say about it. Feel really, really good, but I don't want to spend $100,000 on a console tomorrow. It's really, really good, but actually in Canadian it's 150 plus the stage box. I don't want to spend $200,000 on a setup tomorrow. I just feel like my wing is as good. Of course, it's not 32-bit processing everywhere. It's not the same, but I mean, it's a great console, but it's not worth the money. Nothing I did yesterday that could not have been done with the wing, especially with a wave server. Let's sidetrack back to you can push bus into bus, right? I don't know. I didn't have to do that because yesterday I was mixing a live stream. I was mixing a gala basically, and I only had 5 headset, 5 handheld mic, and a couple playback and DJ input. I was doing a little bit of monitoring also, but I didn't have to, push stuff into stuff. I didn't have to do like crazy routing because I was just doing my live stream. Was having a stream aux, so everything was post fader. Yes, it makes the HD96 sound affordable, definitely. But I was mixing yesterday, everything in an aux post fader. I did my mix in the room, did my mix for the stream, and everything was following because it was post fader. Crowd mic, that we're going only in the aux end for the PA, for the crowd, but not going into the PA. But yeah, definitely, this is how I did my stream yesterday. Sounded good. I apply a G-Bus compressor and an L4 from the wave rack on there. Also, yeah, funny enough, I don't know if you guys know, probably that I didn't see it, but there is no expender. There is no downward expender on the input of the Quantum by default. And I thought it was really funny because you can have that on an XR18. Felt really, really funny. Yeah. HD96 is very reasonable. To be honest, with the Neon, the HD96 doesn't have downward expander? Really? Okay. On the channel. Yes, no, because we want that on the channel. I don't understand why. I don't understand why you don't want anything. Basically, all your channel, you want downward expander on them, right? Well, the way I mix, especially doing conference and corporate stuff, downward expander is the first thing that I have on every single channel. Downward expander going into an EQ, going into a compressor. This is how I usually manage the signal of a headset mic, especially a headset mic, because when you are on the edge of, I don't want to say feedback, hearing the room. I'm going to say hearing the room and the mic, where if you're going to push it a little more, it's going to feed back. But if you keep it at that level, you're going to hear the room, but it's not going to feed back. No specific frequencies poking out. Putting a downward expander on that is going to help you a lot, because you only really notice the room when there's pause. The HG96 as the PSA, I don't know. talk to Pete about that, he's probably the guy that you need to talk about this, because he's probably the one having a final say on the console. But it's been a while since I did play around with the HD96. Can you? Yes, Nick, I know. I'm not gonna have 72 of those. Sorry. But I would get a wave rack instead, because I actually learned yesterday that the C1 gate from Wave is also a downward expander. You can change the mode to be expander, and having stuff, especially for a headset mic, great way to, like I said, avoid room noise, just keep it quiet, especially for a live stream. I like to have my mic being quiet. When people are just standing there, they're being quiet, you don't have any breathing, any hair. The downward expander is simply gonna shut them up when they're not speaking, reduce the background noise, reduce the room noise. Awesome tool to have. I don't understand why. Do you guys use downward expander? Am I the only one here that put it pretty much on everything? Like on drums, I don't use gate anymore. I try to use expander because it's gonna forgive way more. It's gonna be way more transparent than having like a hard cut gate. So dealing with the 338 and the wave rack, everything that I felt was missing in the 338 was available in the rack. At the PSC, we're talking about this thing here, right? Hold on, we have this. I'm gonna change the wave designer to a that's a combo. Okay. This. Want this. I want this everywhere. Who doesn't want this everywhere? All right, I don't feel alone. Oh, hold on. I don't see the first question in the chat. Why? Sometimes it would tell 12 dB. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty much how I usually use it. Drums, fast and peak. That way I can catch a transient right away. Exactly, Patrick. Gate doesn't have to be in hard cut. Can't say more than yes. PSA is great. It's a great tool to have, especially just to, hear me out. On higher noise, higher background noise consoles, I'm gonna put out the X-Air here. On stuff like the X-Air, having, the expander working against the noise of the console, because those consoles seem to get really noisy if you give it some gain. If you have that on, it's going to be after the noise in the signal chain, so it will allow you to get your mix or to get your output dead quiet when you need that to be dead quiet. It doesn't sound like Niagara Falls is like playing back in your speaker when you just have everything on mute, because I had that happening before. Talking about the day of the LS9, funny enough, because I was kicking one around the other day. I was at OV Tech, the shop where I go from time to time, and they still have one, and some people still request their LS9 to go out like on theater gigs. The guy didn't learn the X32 because he never believed that Behringer back in the day would get so big, so he's still running or still know how to run an LS9 and only want that. So it's actually funny enough. There's a theater that is a client there. The two boards option are a 01V, not the 96 one, the gray one, Yamaha 01V, or LS9. The guy only wants to has that. I don't know if nowadays in 2025 I would grab an O1V. Actually, I probably need to find one or to borrow one and like talk about it, because I don't know if it's good. By nowadays standard, it's probably outdated. But can you get something good out of those console? Can you make a good mix on an O1V? It was using only that. It will be my question. Of course, if you have a great band, you can probably get away with it. But by nowadays standard, is it still fine? I'd be curious. Okay. I keep on trying to push that in the conversation. Must agree with you, Nick. Definitely a great door stopper. But let's say that you have one and you don't want to use it as a door stopper. Let's say that you do a show in a bar. Forget that the Wing Compact exists. We live in a parallel universe where the Wing Compact doesn't exist. You basically have this footprint because it's pretty much the same footprint. Can you do I believe it's 12 input. Can you do 12 input, 10 to 12 input gig with those things, doing 2 or 3 monitor mixes? Floor monitor. Let's go really, really simple. Can you do a small acoustic band with, say, a cajon, 1 or 2 guitar, and 3 vocal? Less than 12 input-ish. Everybody has a mix. If you were to do that kind of band, could you do it? Could you justify the price for that, and can you get a good sonic result? It's probably, I mean, you have 2, if I remember correctly, you have 2 dynamics. So you can do expander, you can do compressor, and you have a 4-band EQ. That's the basic there. If you have that, I could do a show. Like, I don't even have that on the Flow 8. Thinking about it, I'm still using the Flow 8 from time to time to do, small gigs where I don't need much, like my cheerleading show that I'm doing twice a year. It's 2 stereo 1/4-inch phone or laptop and 1 microphone. That's all there is. So a Flow 8 has everything that I need to do the job, especially since I'm using the QSC system. I'm using the LA18 or 112, depending on how much power I want to have. To be honest, I don't need more than that. The PA doesn't need to be tuned. I don't need to fix the PA. All I need to do is to fix the room. So 1 or 2, it has a graphic EQ, so 1 or 2 graphic, and that's about it. So could you do the same thing with an O1V? I think you do. Is it reliable? Probably not anymore. Is it gonna sound bad? I don't know. Maybe the converter are not up to the task anymore, or up to our sonic result, but I don't think they were that bad. I'd be curious to know. It's funny that we speak in a conversation of a console that was probably affordable back then to a console that is $100,000 USD, basically, with the case, because 95 is probably without the case. So with the case, $100,000. Let's say $100,000 with shipping. It's probably free shipping with that, but anyway. But it's funny that we compare those two in a single live stream. And to be honest, I could have done yesterday's show on an O1V if it still worked. I could probably show up with that. I'm gonna get to you, Nick. Seriously. All right. Wave server. Nick said before that he needs to have. You still have your O2R, Robert? I used to have one. And I don't have really good memory out of that thing. But I was young. I was at the beginning of my digital career. I was moving from analog. I used to mix on a Soundcraft GB4, if I remember correctly, 24 input, 6 aux console in the bar. I used to mix a lot on that. And somebody in the ads sold an O2R for $800, if I remember correctly. And I found the case for it, huge case, like way too big for the thing. I found a used case at Solotech used department, and stupidly enough, I bought the case for $100, put it in my car, couldn't drive away with it because it was too big, and I kept the case. I bought the case, put the console in it once for storage, and I actually end up selling the whole thing for pretty much what I paid for. But I don't remember having a good memory from the O2R because it was big. I didn't really like the sonic that I had out of the preamp, but it was working and I could do a lot of things with it. But it was really big, if I remember. It was pretty much 1 meter wide by about a meter. It was big. Sonic quality, like I said, I was probably too young and not used to digital. I used to work a lot with analog, but not a fan. I remember I was way more pleased with my 01V96. I had the VCM update, I believe. It was the most like high-end update on that console, and I've done many bar gigs on that thing. This is what I used to carry around. I bought a console early on in my career, and to me it was a way to work with the same gear all the time, with all the same band, because you could do save and recall. Also a way to get extra money, because I used to rent the console. I used to rent really cheap, but I rented to the band, say, oh, actually we need to rent anyway. We need to rent a snake, we need to rent microphone to do your event in, like, not in bars, but to do, well, maybe in bars, but to do like parties, private parties and stuff. We need to rent a PA, we need to rent stuff. So I'm gonna buy the console because I can carry it away in a small package. I can have it in the back of my car and I can go just do a gig somewhere, go in, go out. Really easy stuff. But it changed my approach to mixing because I was able to always improve on my mix having the same console all the time. Something that can also help you improve your mix is having a wave server. And I'm going to finally move to that because I'm trying really hard to move there. Having a wave server. Nick, talking to you, man. If you want to do yourself a DIY wave server, it's really easy. I've done it myself. Use something like an old Optiplex that you can get for a few bucks. Like you can probably get one nowadays for $20. There's a list on the Wave website of what CPU that you need, how many gigs of RAM that you need. And if you go with something that is entry level for those spec, I believe it used to be 6th gen Intel and like 8 gigs of RAM, and it becomes a dedicated machine. So there's no Windows running on it, there's no nothing. You have a small hard drive in there, you drop the firmware for Wave server on it, and you can run a lot of plugin. And that computer is going to cost you probably like $50 to build with everything to the max, like with an internal SSD. The computer itself can be bought probably used. You can probably even find a used one with 128 gig SSD for really cheap. And you just install your stuff on it. You install the operating system, which is running on Linux. It's going to cost you nothing. I don't know if Yeah, Dell Optiplex. There's a lot of DIY stuff for the Wave server. Give that a try, or give it a look at least. But yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can even go into the rack mount stuff, the rack mount server stuff if you want, but they usually end up being really big and really loud. So probably not something that you want to invest too much into. Well, the old server costs nothing. FYI, if you are somebody out there who wants to have his own lab and running stuff at home, your cloud, your chat GPT, whatever, your stuff, you can get really, really affordable decommission hardware for server. And this is what I'm running actually for my in my house for my NAS. I'm running a network attached storage for all my video editing and stuff like that. And like, I'm recording those live stream just for fun, and it's all happening on the NAS. And that whole computer with the case cost me $90 with a few hard drive in it. It was a good deal, but this is the kind of deal that you can find. Old server can be like, you can get one for $20. Depending on what you want to do with it, sometimes it's enough. Like I said, the Dell Optiplex for Wave stuff is probably enough. A lot of people are doing that. They're not rack mount, so you will probably need to Velcro it, or figure out a way, or buy a shelf and zip tie it to a shelf so it's not going to move. Or you just drill through it because you paid $20 for a computer with the case, CPU and hard drive and everything. So you just drill through it, make sure that you can like lock it down on something, and call it a day. It's really easy to get cheap computer, because the thing is with computer, they move out of the end of life so fast, and they become obsolete so fast for running operating system that people are getting them for free pretty much. But when you think about the processing power that you have in those units, what you can do with that if you don't run Windows 11 on an old machine, there's a lot of power to be have. Like my network attached storage is a old rack mount server, old Xeon processor that is not good for anything nowadays other than managing file. But managing file, my CPU doesn't go at full transfer speed more than 20%. So it's good. I'm not bottlenecked by that. All right. What else you guys want to talk about? So thinking about changing my snake situation, maybe Cat 5 with longer XLR tail label on the kick. Source side. Yeah, I'm thinking about that too. Having something in the rack already plugged in, and you just run a couple Cat 5 to box on stage. There will be a lot of PC available when Windows 10 support stuff. Yeah, probably. And they're doing that on purpose, because those old machines are more than capable of running the software. But they claim security, which is true. In most cases, they claim security, and the manufacturer don't do security update on processor level update, because I don't know if you know that, but your CPU, your RAM, your everything that has a firmware basically can be firmware update and can be patched. Could be your motherboard BIOS update, could be your anything. There could be option for that to have patch. So if the manufacturer stopped doing that, the operating system designer stopped to care about it because it's not up to date, then there's a breach on something that is accessible from a specific firmware. So I don't know how much computer will be out of the market. But if you guys are a little bit tech savvy, and I'm say a little bit tech savvy, get Linux, Ubuntu, and run that on your computer. It's going to be the same. You're going to get used to it after a while, and running Linux is the way to go. It's a really light operating system. There's not a lot of people that try to attack those systems. There is, don't get me wrong, but it's not a really popular operating system, so you'll be, I don't want to say less vulnerable, but because there is less there's less hacker spending time on try to breach it, because that's not, the reward is not there. If you have to hack an operating system, you want to hack Windows, basically, so that way you can hack all the business, all the people at home, so yeah. I'm torn. Whirlwind makes cool patch system. Did you see the cattail? How they make the XLR have gender changing? That's really cool. I didn't see that, but from what I see from Whirlwind, they make really cool box. Same thing for radio. Same thing for Digiflex. But at the end of the day, the box is not going to be the weak point. Like if you can DIY your own box, to be honest, and I've did it myself a couple times, and I'm thinking about doing it right now, getting some small box. I have a friend who got a CNC. I'm gonna ask him if he can cut me a couple of XLR patch panel for that, and I'm just gonna DIY my own box, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't really matter what kind of box you're getting, because they're not going to be the weak point. The weak point would be the cable, and that you're not away of having anything break. So maybe Whirlwind is the way to go. If you can get the Digiflex stuff for cheaper, go with the Digiflex stuff. The cable that's probably going to break is the one that you're going to put in between the device more than on the other side. Question from Rolf. Actually, let me try something. I'm supposed to have a voice to speech. I'm going to give that a try.
Rolf DC says, question, what is the experience with the audio over Cat 5/6? I think that people pay a lot for good audio cables with Nutrix connectors and then stick an RJ45 in between.
Hold on, guys. I'm not expecting any visitor, and somebody just walk in my house. Give me a minute. All right, we're back, guys. Are you guys still with me? You guys still with me? Just let me know in the chat. All right, still moving, so I think we're good to go. Surprise visit from my mother, apparently. So this is why she just walked in. All right. So let me go read that question from Rolf again. Sorry, Can I put it back? Yes. Okay. So, what is the experience with the audio over Cat5, Cat6? I think that people pay a lot for good audio cable with neutral connector, then stick an RJ45 in between. If I understand this correctly, the Cat5 and Cat6 is a better cable than regular XLR. So if you have the neutral connector on it, it's a good thing. I mean, my experience with audio over Cat5 and Cat6 is good because I'm using it all the time. I'm using the Digiflex box. I don't know how they call it, cattail or whatever, or it's pretty much the same thing. They're really good. The thing that's gonna matter most is the cable that you have in between. If you have a good quad Cat5, Cat6, and even the bad ones are better than regular XLR. So good audio cable is the RJ45 in between is not going to be the weakest point. It's a better connector and it's a better conductor, from my understanding, than the other stuff. Robert, a couple of audio cat adapter from Toman. Yeah, Toman makes some cheap one too. Did you see the video Behringer posts about the expansion card for the wing? They mention a new card for broadcast, Maddie. It's been a while. I saw that video, but it's been a while. So, it's been too long. I don't remember exactly what they said, but yeah, they kind of promised a Maddie card, but I don't know if it's gonna happen, or well, it will probably happen, but it can take years, and I don't know when. I'm not aware of that, and to be honest, I don't feel like I want to dive too much into the Maddie stuff. I'm already deeply invested in the Dante universe. Same thing when it comes to the new Blackmagic stuff I was talking about last week. They missed the boat, I think, when they did not integrated Dante into their system. Apparently, like Robert told me, 2110 is a great 2110 is an extension of the AES67 protocol. Want to make sure that I get that right. And it's not directly compatible with Dante, which I believe is a fail, to be honest, because all the microphone manufacturers are moving to Dante. Well, they've been for years, but everybody has a Dante offering, and I don't know if Shure, Sennheiser, for microphone and in-ears monitor have any offering over Maddie. So I don't know. To be honest, if it's a good thing or not. Maddie, I don't see the point of having a Maddie connection. Maybe with the new Blackmagic stuff that is expanding the ATEM stuff over Maddie. Some people that will buy the new version instead of the current version that is cheaper will want to have 32 channel over Maddie. I don't know. I know I won't. I know it would not justify the upgrade, especially if you're buying the new ATEM Extreme G2, because you have XLR connection on that thing now. So what is the best solution here? Just use 2 XLR, or buy a Maddie card, buy a cable that you probably don't have, because you probably don't have BNC connector to send from your wing to the device. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it's personally, I don't have a need for Maddie. My life has been Maddie free for years. Just the show file, third stage, Cat5, okay. Send a return monitor, mixes plus instrument. Okay. Yeah, entire show. Okay, so the whirlwind stuff. Let me show the picture here. You guys can probably see that. The whirlwind stuff is sex change, basically XLR. Those are available from Nutric. And the box is really looking like the radial box, but it's probably cheaper. Had the entire stage patch in 10 minutes with that stuff. Yeah, because you only need to run a few cable. Each yeah, for those of you who don't know, basically you can have an XLR and you can swap it around. So you can do male, female with that stuff. You can do one way, three on the other side. Let's say that you can do a single guitar player that use wired in ear. You can have his modeler mono, his microphone, and stereo in ear can be sent all into one cable. So you have the box on your pedal board. Let's say, or yeah, let's go with that. Box on your pedal board, all you have to do is run one cat cable on the board, one cat to the other side, and you're good. It's all good. But do you need that on big production? I don't know, because you need to have really good cat cable. Cat 5, cat 6, doesn't really matter on those run. Because the rate of transmission that we have for audio is way lower than what those cable can or are made to be expect from the source. So no. But yeah, man, having that is a great idea. I wish I could do this. All you have to do is have a little patch panel on the back of your rack. You just go like tuk 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 tuk, and that's it. Everything is pre-done, pre-patched inside the rack. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. The thing that I'm still not getting my mind right about the cat box like this, because I've thought about doing this many years ago, is what do you do on the player side? You need to have, sex change XLR or have custom build box for that. And I end up in a situation where most of the time 4 cable is not enough for a musician. Example. When I'm doing a band that I'm doing a lot, Monitor for those guys, La Chicane, those of you who know. The drummer has 14 line back and forth to him, so 12 drum to for his mix, because he's using a small console. After that, next to him we have the keyboard, 4 line of keyboard, 2 for his mix, so that will be 2 cable. Or if you could daisy chain, if you have bucks with daisy chain, you could run 1 cable to the drum and using 1 and 2 for the drum, and then go to the other guys for 3 and 4. But you need 2 bucks for that, and you need the daisy chain. After that, my guitar player next to that is 2 for his guitar, because I'm miking his amp back and forth. Sounds amazing having 157 at the front, and no, it's a beta at the front and 57 at the back, and you just flip the phase on that. You're doing basically like a snare top, snare bottom on an amp. Sound amazing, really big, really the mid range really come back up, and it's really fun, and it's really cut into a mix. Do that if you never tried that, give that a try. 57 at the front, 57 at the back of the speaker. You need to have an open back amp to do that, but it's really fun. But yeah, 2 XLR for his amp, 2 for his microphone, because he's running a singing mic and a talkback, and he has an acoustic, so that's 5 cable. Next to that, I have the bass, single line. So is it worth it to run a cat for that? No, not really. After that, I go to the front of the stage. My lead singer is 2, 1 electric mono, 1 acoustic mono. Vocal is wireless, so I don't need that. It's never 4 is never a good. Is never a good cable. Is never a good amount of line for me, because the last guy in that band. Let's finish on that. He's running a camper where he has guitar left, right, and his mix. We're running his mix through his camper. Basically, I'm sending back in the return of this camper and using the headphone of the camper to monitor himself. Sounds amazing. No latency for him. It's great. And a vocal, so it's 5-line. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I need either 4, it's either 1 or 5 or 6 lines. So I would need to run 6 pair to everybody, which would make sense, but not at the same time. Yeah, I need to use Real Snake for that. And the cat drop. But the thing is, on that tour, we don't carry our stage box. We only carry our mics. Or you run Cat 5. 1 snake drop in the center. So it's possible 16 line. Yeah. If I were to do that, well, I don't know. Some bands will probably work. My band, it doesn't work. But if you are, let's say that you have a band that's going to sacrifice some stuff to make it happen with RJ45 bucks. Let's say that you're a guitar player, you play in a small band, you have like a small XR18 console. You're probably running stuff in mostly mono. Your guitars are probably mono. Maybe if you're just a 3-piece or 4-piece band and you have an XR18, you want to run stereo mixes. Maybe. Let's say that most player have a left-right in-ears and 1 or 2 thing, like a guitar and a vocal or bass and a vocal, and maybe you run, let's say the lead singer is playing probably wireless in-ear, stereo guitar, and mono acoustic and a vocal-ish. Yeah, I can probably see that happen, but you need to have a lot of back and forth line. You need to have a lot of thing that is exchangeable. But how much are those bucks, Nick? How much they cost? Is it worth the cost of just running a 4-pair at that point? Because those, funny enough, those bucks are really expensive most of the time. Company like Radio Ills is selling them for a premium price, and there's not much in that box. And I've opened one recently. It's just a fancy RJ45 solder to a PC board that split the line, and there's not much to it. There's not much in those boxes. Actually, there's nothing in those boxes. It's just a female RJ45 to XLRs. I know the 6-change XLR are pricey. I know they cost probably more than double the price, but it's 35 euros. Oh, for the Thomann one, not the 6-change one. The Whirlwind that are, male and female cable. Yeah, the Thomann 35 euro bucks probably worth it if you have to run stuff like that. Or the one that I have here. Those little Temu bucks that cost 10 bucks or 20 bucks. It's been a while, but I know they're really affordable. RJ45 here. This one is female. It's probably worth it to have an affordable box like this and some 6-change here, female to female or male to male, and just run with it. I don't think you will see 150 retail. Yeah, that's a little too much. Because I can build one myself, or I'm gonna go with these bucks, and I'm gonna get a few spares, and I'll be fine with the spares, to be honest. Or actually being, let's say I'm building my pedal board. I can probably put this on my pedal board, choosing the right one, or let's say that I'm running 2-2, I can just get 4 sex change, 2 male, 2 female, and probably going to be less expensive than buying one of those Whirlwind box. Tommy knows both box version. Small XLR tail. Well, yeah. If you get a box and get one with a tail. If I were to put this on a pedal board, let's say that this is the way that you're going. You put this on a pedal board next to it will make sense to have this next to some pedals. Or if anybody has a floorboard, you just put that there. One cable, that's it. And I even saw some guy doing DIY bucks there where he's using a pair for power. I would be a little afraid of doing that, but some people are probably doing this. Like some, if you are in a band and don't mind having your DC power going through Cat5, because it's DC power, not AC power. AC power, no go. No go. No, not 120. No. DC power for pedals or stuff like that. It would make sense, but I mean, for the amount of risking noise that you would get, not worth it for me. But yeah, I could see myself like in a situation where these would make sense. If you want to do it quickly, if you want to have like in your rack, you already did all the patching and everything, and you just if you need to contain everything into one box and one power on the stage, would make sense. But I don't know. The Whirlwind stuff doesn't make price-wise any sense to me. I can probably DIY those bucks or just buy this and exchange convert the XLR signal male to female, female to female, or male to male, whatever. So yeah, doesn't make sense to me. All right, we are at the 1 hour mark, guys. Thank you very much for being with me today. I'm gonna cut this stream short because I have a surprise visit of mommy here, and I'd rather spend some time with her. So thank you very much. I'm gonna cut a little bit short. It's not the fully hour, but I'm gonna cut a little bit short. Thank you very much for being here. Nick says, take care, everyone. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. More video on the way. I'm gonna work on that this week. I have a little rest, so I'm gonna work on video this week. Doing my best, guys. See you.